Top 5 teams that can reinvent themselves in the draft. These are teams, I believe, that actually have positive momentum going forward. One of these teams is not the Dallas Football Cowboys, who Jerry Jones, when asked yesterday, said...
Oh, God, I had to listen to that. I don't have to,
okay,
but I couldn't pull myself
away. Did you hear
away.
him say when that, like... Oh, look, Amon-Ra St. Brown and Penny Sewell both signed extensions with the Lions today. Neither one of them were up in any kind of risky time. They just did it because they did. And they asked why you don't get Dak's deal done earlier, which they should have done 2 years ago, or you get CD's deal done earlier, and why you're waiting. And he's like, well, I'd like to see a little more leaves fall. And it's all playing option quarterback. I've been playing option quarterback all this time. You know, what are you talking about? You're only costing yourself money. Because Amon-Ra St. Brown signed today, guess what that means? That means more money for CeeDee Lamb. I'll get into the top 5 before I go off on what could be an endless rant.
Be your show tomorrow.
A filibuster, so to speak, on that. Number 5, a team that was in the playoffs last year but ended the year just absolutely crashing and burning the Eagles. They pick at 22. I have a feeling they will be aggressive and move up because they have the capital to do so. They've got 2 second-round picks, and they're going to get the cornerback or wide receiver they want to add into their stable. I think it'll be a cornerback, and I think they'll do wide receiver in the second round. But one of those second-round picks is probably going to get packaged with 22 to move up and get a guy like Cooper DeJean or Kenyon Mitchell, someone early on there, and maybe somebody else we don't even see yet. But the Eagles are about to do something because Howie Roseman doesn't like the way that year ended. Obviously, Nick Sirianni is going to have the whole city of Philly nipping at his heels because lost the Super Bowl, then, again goes out, doesn't have a strong finish to the year. Philly fans are as fickle as anybody. And I think the Eagles, though, have a really good chance to go be the Eagles and be one of the best roster builders in the league.
Yeah, I saw where Daniel Jeremiah thought that they were going to trade up. I think he's backed off of that, eyeing them as far as going and getting a piece on defense, like at cornerback or whatever. But, yeah, they're in a weird spot, like you said. It's very fleeting, the faith in the direction. 2 years ago, like you said, like they're right there on the precipice, and then last year it goes a little sideways at times, and all of a sudden, all these questions arise. But, yeah, the NFC East is going to be hyper-competitive. The Giants seem like they're working their way back. The Commanders are obviously under a new ownership group that's hopefully going to get them competitive consistently, and the Cowboys are the Cowboys. So, yeah, very interested in what the Eagles do starting tomorrow night.
Number 4. The Atlanta Falcons. This is a team that now that they signed Kirk Cousins, they can kind of do a lot of things at that number 8 pick. They can go get a defensive end that they need. They pick again at 43. So they have some interesting options, especially in the top 100 to do things. Also picking at 8, they might have an opportunity to trade back a little bit with somebody who's moving up and pick up some more picks. And with the new coach and Raheem Morris, with the way they're going, getting some of those offensive weapons, they've got Bijan Robinson and Kyle Pitts and Drake London, and I'm leaving out a wide receiver that they went and traded for and got. So this is a team that could do a lot of things, and I'm not saying they're going to go turn around and win the Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins. He's never even come close, but they could change their stars a lot in this draft, especially given the fact that they have a new regime in place that seems to know what they're doing.
You got Rondale Moore.
Rondale Moore, thank you.
Yeah, who I thought was going to be an absolute star when he was leaving college because he was such a dude at Purdue. But
yeah.
Not quite to the level I thought, but certainly an electric playmaker that is now part of a group of electric playmakers. So, yeah, they've answered the quarterback question emphatically. So now, like, how do you build around that? Because, man, on offense, you got to love what they put together this offseason. It seems like it could be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Darnell Mooney was the other receiver that they brought in. I guess that was at the end of this year. We'll see how that works out, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them add one of those either in this draft. Number 3, the Minnesota Vikings, 2 first-round picks. They're trying to go get their quarterback. Is it going to be Drake May? Is it going to be J.J. McCarthy? If somehow they manage not to to move up and get their quarterback. This is going to be a huge fail for their front office, but they're trying. They've got Justin Jefferson right now, and they either have to go get a quarterback to play with him that's going to be with him long term, or they have to think about trading Justin Jefferson because, I mean, eventually they got to get the draft capital back that they would have wasted not getting him somebody now. I'm not talking about this year. I'm just talking about down the line. You're probably going to have to trade him because you've offered him nothing as far as quarterback goes, and he's going to force your hand in that regard. So build your team around Jordan Jefferson and go get him a quarterback because he's been pretty good with Kirk Cousins, and he can be pretty good if he has somebody that's there with him for the long term.
They're going to draft J.J. McCarthy.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
I think they're going to draft J.J. McCarthy. That'll answer all the questions that you just brought up. I think that'll give everybody the playmaker at quarterback that they want, the guy that can get them the football post Kirk Cousins and help provide some leadership as well and kind of give them that direction of what the future looks like. But that if I had to bet on it, that's what I would expect them to do. Seems like there's a lot of momentum for that potential tomorrow.
Number 2, the Arizona Cardinals. A ton of 2 first-round picks, a GM who likes moving around in the draft, the ability to trade out of number 4 with a team like Minnesota, and pick up even more picks that they have, swap some things around. It could be very interesting. They could wind up with 3 first-round picks tomorrow. And now that they've kind of decided to build around Kyler Murray, which I think, given his contract and given the fact that you just should try it with his ability. Go get him some playmakers. Go draft a Roma Dunze or a Malik Neighbors for him. Get him an offensive lineman. Get him another tight end. Like whatever you need to do. Put some guys on defense.
Can a team afford to have 3 first-round picks and pay for all of them?
Well, I mean, I think the Cardinals can right now,
okay.
But
salary cap didn't exist.
Yeah,
no,
it only exists in.
Well, that's a rookie cap.
It only exists in the 817 area code.
That's right. 214.
Doesn't mean in general people find ways to do business. So I mean, if you have 3 picks, then you got to have some plan that you're going to be able to sign all 3 of them.
You don't get 3 if you can't pay for them. Yeah.
And the J.J. McCarthy Vikings, there's a guy I follow as a fantasy. I know that he would have to drop a long ways. The Giants, I guess, are the best bet for him probably. Yeah. But if the Vikings were to trade up to answer those questions, then that seems like a guy to be pegged for. But I think New York could also be that landing spot at 4. So that's going to be really interesting where he falls because I know there's some split debate on him in general. But the Cardinals, like you said, do need some weapons. I mean, it's boom or bust for Kyler Murray now, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like, dude, this is all you, and if it fails, it's on you, and if it doesn't, it's on. Or if it succeeds, I guess it's on you as well. But they got to make him happy and build around him best they can. But they just kind of seem like they're sort of just there now. Whereas one point he was this huge star, and now it's just kind of the Arizona Cardinals and Kyler Murray. They're just kind of there to me as a just casual observer.
Still cannot believe that they beat Dallas last year early in the year.
Well,
and I mean, there's always every NFL team has one of those where you're just like crap on yourself, and they sure did.
Josh Dobbs. It wasn't even Kyler Murray. He was still
that's
hurt.
right.
And number 1, and Garrett, feel free to put your mic up here. The Washington Commanders. It's a new day, a new owner. I have a feeling that
are you trying to get me to extend your contract or something like that?
Here's the deal. I think that when you walk around Landover, Maryland, or wherever the complex is, you've been there. You did the show there that day.
Yeah, I did.
And I'm sure
back when there was hope.
I'm sure you avoided getting beat up by security, which seems to be a thing that would happen under Daniel Snyder. But like you walk outside in a flower bed that was just dead and shriveled. Now there's little daisies popping up.
They put Eskimo on there.
Yeah, like they put there's all kind of wild plants popping up, and it's flowers, and everything smells good, and they're good. Like there's going to be plumbing in the stadium now. All these cool things.
It's going to take a while for the stench to go away.
Here's why I think they can reinvent themselves. They're the owners of picks 2, 36, 40, 67.
That's 2 in the
78.
That's 3 in the first 3 rounds. 6 in the first
100, which is
right outside. Maybe
right. No, it's the last pick of the 3rd round.
All right.
So
compensatory.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, there's never been more of an opportunity to be new than where you have right now. I mean,
exactly.
you can literally do anything starting from scratch, basically, at this point. Mm-hmm. So, screw Daniel Snyder, piece of garbage. All the former coaches, all the former who cares? It is I'd look at this as almost like launching an expansion franchise that just happens to have a lot of great history that's also at your disposal. But to me, it's just a blank slate. you've got some pieces you already clearly like. But, yeah, man, go get Jaden Daniels. That's what I expect him to do tomorrow night, and I'm going to be happy about that pick because they desperately need a quarterback, like especially somebody who, like, matters, not just some dude, but, like, a game changer at quarterback. And we've tried to convince ourselves that, man, Taylor Heineke's actually pretty good. And, for a moment here and there, maybe he was, but he was not the franchise future leader of, the Washington Commanders. And there's just been quarterback after quarterback after quarterback that have Dwayne Haskins, RIP. I mean, you go on and on and on. And so hopefully tomorrow night's the night where they actually, for the first time since they had 2 quarterbacks in the same draft,
and picked,
and then screw that up. Like, one of them they basically run into retirement, and then the other one they piss off left and right to the point where he doesn't want to be there anymore. So hopefully this is the guy that they can actually build around and can be that guy that leads them into the promised land.
They need more than the guy, but that sure as hell is someone they need to build around and to have like C.J. Stroud type stuff.
If you get Jay Daniels, and then in the second round you get a defensive end and a guard or something, you can go find a third wide receiver. They've got some good wide receivers there. They really do. With Scary Terry, Jahan Dotson, they've got some players.
They lost Samuel.
Yeah, but you can also find,
–
I think you can find somebody to kind of be at third wide receiver for them. If they could, say, get a Ricky Pearsall, somebody go catch the passes.
Get what can be an exciting franchise quarterback, somebody who can put pressure on the quarterback, somebody who could protect the quarterback, and somebody that is just going to be a 10 or 12-year pro. Doesn't have to be an all-pro. Just they need those type of players.
Unfortunately, it also sounds like every middle-of-the-road transfer portal team right now. We just need a quarterback, a pass rusher, O-line, and
a difference maker in the secondary.
Yeah. But that's all. But you know what? At least you can go in there and actually pick, and it's just all,
I do have faith that they have the ability with the new GM, the ownership, and all that it's not going to be a cluster, that they, again, that doesn't guarantee anything.
No, I just doubt that Josh Harris is walking in the room with edicts. I think that's the problem, and
Josh Harris may not even walk into that room except to congratulate them when they make a pick after he's approved, of course, how much he will appreciate.
Well, they'll never have a better opportunity than tomorrow night to reignite this franchise. So let's see. I think it's going to be Jaden Daniels. We'll see. Obviously, we got more time to talk about this tomorrow. But, yeah, there's definitely for those 5 teams the opportunity to kind of change your perception.
One quarterback you ran into retirement. One quarterback, as Craig said, pissed off, and another one who's not even on this earth anymore. That's been kind of how they summarized the last 10 or 12 years of that.
Yeah, I just want my 3 friends to be happy, even though their happiness probably comes at the expense of mine, but that's fine. That's what true friends do.
Yeah. Well, it reignites